What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Open Mic Network WrestleMania 41 prediction show. We got 2 nights of WrestleMania, just a few short days from now. And I'm really happy to be doing it in this format. Normally, I do predictions over in our Discord. I've even done the past few here on YouTube in the post section. But I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, and I'm glad to be able to do it as we head into WrestleMania 41. Before we get started, I got to be honest. For whatever reason, I just haven't been feeling this WrestleMania for whatever reason. I don't know if part of it is because the build for this one, like the time we had from Elimination Chamber to now, has been so long. The fact that WrestleMania is really coming up at the end of April, the latest it's ever been. Or maybe the fact that the bulk of the matches have really just kind of come together and almost kind of feel like they've been thrown together over the last couple weeks. I don't know. If I think back to last year, I kind of had some of the same feelings. When The Rock kind of got brought into the mix, I wasn't really a big fan of it. I kind of thought that it felt forced. And also felt that it wasn't The Rock's best stuff. But when it was all said and done, and the entire thing played out, when we got to the end of Sunday night of WrestleMania 40, I could not have been happier with the way that everything played out and the way that the story was told. The ending, the Avengers finish, all that stuff. I did not see all that coming, and so I was very pleased with the ending of WrestleMania 40. Maybe that'll be the case here. Maybe there's some stuff that I'm just not even thinking about that they're going to hit us with. But leading into it, for whatever reason, I just have kind of felt like something has been missing. But let's see what happens. Let's jump into it. WrestleMania 41 predictions, Saturday night, night 1. Here we go. Let's start off the main event with this one. Triple threat, Seth freaking Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and on the outside, somewhere in someone's corner, is Paul Heyman. Don't really know how that's going to play out or play into it, but looking at this one, and again, I look at these things a lot different than a typical fan. While I wasn't a wrestler, I did work in the wrestling industry for 2 years. So I look at these things from a different lens, from a different perspective than I did before that. And a lot of times it is what makes sense, like what makes the most sense in this situation. Punk kind of already achieved what he was after, and that is to main event a WrestleMania. So that part, check. Roman Reigns really doesn't need a win here. We've seen him in main event matches at WrestleMania for what feels like the last 10 years. What's really gained by him picking up the win here, other than maybe doing it without Paul Heyman, and then maybe that is some sort of message or lesson, but I don't think it's that. Then there's Seth freaking Rollins. To me, he is the most logical out of the 3 to win this match. Right now, he's not really a face. He's not really a heel. He's kind of in that gray area. Maybe they keep him there. Maybe Heyman somehow sides with him. I don't know. But I think where all 3 of these guys are right now, the one that makes the most sense to me to walk out with the win is Seth Rollins. Doesn't have to be a clean victory. It can be due to outside interference, cheating, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. But out of these 3 guys, your weekly workhorse and the guy that's going to be on all the shows, even though I think Punk for the most part is as well. But again, you already have his quote-unquote victory main eventing WrestleMania. So who knows? Maybe that positions Rollins to make a world title run depending on who wins on Saturday between Jay and Gunther, or who wins on Sunday between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Next, let's just go into that WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther defends against Jey Uso. Uso, who is maybe the most over, the most popular guy on the roster when it comes to the live crowd, wins at the Royal Rumble. Such an awesome story. Then the build towards WrestleMania just didn't really seem to get off the ground for whatever reason. I don't know why. Then they did that spot a few weeks back where Gunther just beats the hell out of Jay's brother Jimmy. And it really kind of raised the stakes and kind of raised the energy for this match heading into WrestleMania. The following week, Jay comes out, cuts, in my opinion, the best promo he has cut at any point up until now. It was heartfelt. It was believable. It had so many levels to it. And then I think just it kind of took him to another level. WWE loves to have these crazy moments where the crowd's going nuts. And I don't want to compare it to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 or even Cody last year at WrestleMania 40. But WWE likes that big wide shot of everybody going nuts when the underdog finally wins. They love getting the reactions of people recording themselves on their phones or their webcams, and they'll put together a package around those, and they'll run it probably on Sunday, definitely on Monday on Raw. They love those moments that just really have a tendency to go viral. I think this is one of those cases. Jay becomes champion, world champion for the first time. I don't think it's going to be a lengthy title run. It doesn't have to be. Maybe he holds it for a few months and then Seth Rollins comes over and that becomes a feud. Or maybe Braun Breaker goes and makes the chase for the world title. Whatever direction they go. But I think Jay finally wins his first singles championship, wins the world title at WrestleMania this Saturday night. Then we've got the WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte. This one's been kind of weird. For whatever reason, it's just been weird. Are we working? Are we shooting? What's real? What's not real? What's scripted? What's off script? It's just been really awkward. I think when they had Charlotte win the Women's Rumble, I don't think that they thought that they were going to get the reaction that Charlotte has got from the crowd, from the WWE Universe. And it's almost not even good heat. I don't know. I mean, she's been gone for so long. I don't know if maybe the fan base is just wanting something different, or it's maybe how they presented her. Maybe coming in, she thought she was the babyface and the crowd was like, no, you're not. I don't know. I think we have seen Tiffany become a babyface. You know, it's been kind of a gradual transition over the last couple months. Definitely sped up by this feud with Charlotte. When we get to that point on Saturday, I think it's going to be Charlotte. I think it was going to be Charlotte all along, regardless of whatever the crowd has kind of been giving her back. But I think what you then have is you have Charlotte walk out of WrestleMania with the championship. This feud's not going to be over by any means, but then we're going to get to see what Tiffany can do, making that chase as a babyface. Next, it is the World Tag Team Championship, the War Raiders taking on the New Day. And while I think overall the tag team division in the WWE has just not been very good, and it's not been very good for a long time, if I look over on the SmackDown side, I at least start seeing some pieces coming together. I think they may be onto something over there. I don't feel that way on Raw. Love the War Raiders. Glad that they're back. Glad that they're healthy. Glad that they've had a run with those tag team titles. But really, what's the most significant thing that's happened in the tag division on the Raw side has been the New Day. Their heel turn, the harsh promo they cut on Big E. There's got to be something that comes out of that. And I think that thing that comes out of that is a tag team run with a heel New Day. To me, again, it all goes back to what makes the most sense. That's going to make them even more insufferable, that now they finally achieved something. They didn't need Big E. They didn't need the fans. They did it on their own. Then, maybe with a heel New Day, you could then kind of start to build that division back up around those two guys. They've done it in the past. Let's see what they can do as a heel tag team champions. I just think it makes the most sense. New Day walks out of WrestleMania with the gold. We got another championship match. This one for the United States Championship. Champion LA Knight taking on Jacob Fatu. LA Knight has been super over with the crowd for a long time. And I think he's kind of in that spot that for whatever reason, he's just not been able to crack that world title picture, that world title scene. I don't know why, but I feel like he doesn't need a championship. The crowd's still going to be behind him. I kind of feel that way about Jacob too, but there is a huge, and this group is getting louder and louder as we go. That kind of feels like Jacob Fatu is one of those next guys, one of those next main event players, one of those next guys that you expect is going to be a world champion at some point. So to me, it makes the most sense to give him a run with the singles title and see what he does. See what he can do as a monster holding a title. And then you got these baby faces that are trying to slay the beast. Doesn't have to be in a world title situation, but you see what he does there. And that'll kind of give you an idea of what to expect when he presses up even higher on the card, which I think he will at some point. Makes the most sense for Jacob Fatu to walk out as champion. LA Knight really doesn't need the title. So we're going to go Jacob Fatu, your new WWE United States champion. Next, it's another match that kind of came together over the last couple weeks. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable. I don't see that there is any scenario that Rey Mysterio does not win this match. I don't see this El Grande Americano thing going past Saturday. I could be wrong. They might have plans to let this thing go for another 3 to 4 months. I doubt it. I think at some point we are going to see Rey Mysterio remove the mask of El Grande Americano, and the world will be shocked to see that it's Chad Gable. Rey Mysterio gets the win. Chad Gable goes back to being Chad Gable. The final match of night number 1, Jade Cargill and Naomi. And again, going to go with based on what makes the most sense. That's Naomi picking up the win here. I think Jade has kind of had the edge, kind of had the advantage from attacking Naomi at Elimination Chamber all the way up till now. Now that we hit WrestleMania, that doesn't mean that either way, that's the end of this feud. I think that it carries on beyond Saturday night. I've been really impressed with what we've seen out of these vignettes the last couple weeks from Naomi. They've been very, very good. Maybe Naomi was kind of in a little bit of purgatory over the last couple of years since she came back. I mean, she did leave, and maybe they kind of wanted to see her prove something. Maybe not. Maybe that's not the case. But at one time, Naomi was one of the top players when it came to the women's division. I don't think that's been the case since she's been back. And also, I think the division has gotten so much better over the last couple of years. There's so many women and just so few opportunities. But this is a great opportunity for her to get a big win on the biggest stage. She's a heel. She could cheat. She could do whatever. I don't know that it would hurt Jade in any way. And then you can continue it on next week. I'm still not 100% sold that Bianca doesn't factor into this somehow. And maybe you have Jade lose on Saturday. Maybe Jade comes out on Sunday. Cost Bianca possibly. I know we're not to Sunday yet, but maybe she reveals that she knows Bianca was a part of it too. I don't know. But to me, the one that makes the most sense, Naomi getting the win on Saturday. And I don't honestly believe that it does any negative damage to Jade in any way. Moving on to night number 2. We're not going to start with the main event here. We're going to go from the bottom up. And let's start with AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. And whatever your opinion on Logan Paul is, whether you like him, whether you hate him, whether you wish he would stay off your TV, one thing we can say about Logan is when he's stepped in the ring in big match situations, he's delivered some pretty great moments. He's getting in there with the guy that, in my humble opinion, is the best on the planet to do this, AJ Styles. I think we're going to see some pretty amazing moments that are going to come out of this match. I think we're going to see Logan Paul have to step up in a way, being in there with somebody like AJ Styles like he never has before. And I think AJ will pull some stuff out of Logan that maybe even he didn't think he would be able to do. This is one of those matches that on the surface you kind of look at and go, AJ and Logan. But I think when the 2 days is done, this is one of those matches that has the potential of us looking back and going, man, that was a really good match. I think it's going to be AJ that gets the win. Because again, I don't think Logan needs to win in this situation. He can still come out looking great, even with a loss. We know we're going to have some of Logan's cronies that are going to come out and get involved in the match. Happens every time. When it's all said and done, it will be the phenomenal AJ Styles who gets the victory here on night 2 of WrestleMania 41. Next, it's the Sin City Street Fight, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Kind of along the same lines of Jade and Naomi, it feels like Drew has had the upper hand in this feud the whole way through. I think Drew is fantastic. I think he's been doing really some of the best work that he's done over the last couple of years. And I think the guy that probably needs it more is Damian Priest. I think what we're going to get is you're going to have Drew deliver a great performance, but in the end, it's going to be Damian that gets the win. And I think that's kind of how it should be. I think you think back just a year ago, both of these guys were world champion at WrestleMania, one for only about 5 minutes. But, here we are just a year later. I think Damian kind of needs something. And I think he's the one that kind of benefits more by him getting the victory. I still think McIntyre is going to come out, looking great when it's all said and done, even in defeat. But I think they're going to go Damian Priest, and I think he's going to be the one that will benefit the most from a victory in this match. Next, we've got the women's tag team title match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Another one of those matches that came together at the last minute. I like Liv and Raquel in the spot that they're in. I think Liv had one of, if not the best last year out of any woman in the entire women's division in WWE. You don't have to have a singles title on her. You don't have to have a world title on her. She can still be who she is in the division with Raquel holding the tag titles. To me, it raises up the importance of those tag titles. And on the flip side, unless they're going to try to hot shot the belts off of Bayley and Lyra in the next week or two, which doesn't really make any sense because I think the only other team that might be ready and in a position to hold those belts would be Alba Fire and Piper Niven. And I don't think that they're not there yet. But I just think it makes the most sense to keep the belts on Liv and Raquel. And they will lie, cheat, and steal their way to victory and defeat Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Next, we've got the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Dirty Dom, and Penta. Look, Braun, very similar to Jacob Fatu, a guy that is a future main event player, future world champion, and who knows? Maybe WrestleMania 43, 44, our main event is Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu for one of the world championships. However, I don't think he's going to be walking out of WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. The crowd favorite, you could say Penta. He's been super over with the crowd since debuting back in January. Don't think it's going to be him. Don't think it's going to be Finn. The guy that makes the most sense, Dirty Dom. He's not going to pin Braun. He's not going to win this one by, putting on this great performance and getting a win. No, it's going to come at the expense of Finn Balor. Finn is going to get screwed. Dom is going to take advantage of that. And Dom will walk out of WrestleMania as the new Intercontinental Champion. It can be a fluke. It can be some sort of, I use the Eddie Guerrero analogy, lie, cheat, and steal. It could be by those means for Dom as well. If you would have told me a few years ago that Dom would be one of the best heels in the WWE, I would have told you were nuts. But this dude has brought his game up big time. The crowd hates him. He plays that role brilliantly. And to me, there's nothing better than to have that guy find a way, the least likely guy in that match, to find a way to walk out as Intercontinental Champion. It is the most compelling potential angle to come out of this story. We've already seen really over the last couple months that Judgment Day is really not on very solid ground, at least when it comes to Finn. And this may be the final thing that kind of sets Finn off, and either he tries to go after everybody goes after him. I mean, they tend to, as a group, remove people from the Judgment Day on their own. The most likely scenario, Dirty Dom, your new Intercontinental Champion. Then we've got the triple threat match for the WWE Women's World Championship. Champion Io Sky taking on the Elimination Chamber winner Bianca Belair and the former champion Rhea Ripley. We already talked about what's going to happen on the other side. I think we're going to see Charlotte walk out as the champion. To me, I just think it makes the most sense to have Rhea walk out with the championship here. Maybe, like we said earlier, maybe Jade has something to do with Bianca not winning. Maybe it's Naomi. Who knows? I'm not 100% sure that we are not going to see a heel Bianca Belair run very soon. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't see, unless somehow Rhea and Bianca kind of screw each other, that Io walks out with the belt. They seem to really want to do Rhea and Bianca. They had that match all set up before they took the belt off of Rhea and put it on Io. I don't really know what the thinking was to make this then a triple threat. I think it's going to be Rhea. Then that could potentially be what finally sets off Bianca. We get a heel run from Bianca Belair. Then maybe that sets up the feud with Rhea and Bianca, or, maybe they do Bianca and Jade or Bianca and Naomi, whatever the case may be. But in the end on Sunday, I believe it will be Rhea Ripley who regains her Women's World Championship and becomes champion again. Then in our main event, we've got the Undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes taking on John Cena. And I'm kind of, I know a lot of people were just so excited with the John Cena turn and everything that went along with it. Believe it or not, I actually called it live on stream before it happened. We were doing kind of a live reaction stream here on YouTube and Twitch. A lot of people think it's the greatest heel turn of all time. No, it isn't. Not to me. Not that it isn't an important move, and not that I don't think that a heel John Cena can be a great thing. I think for me, it probably has more to do with how it played out and maybe the timing of it. I think if I'm writing it, I would have liked to have seen Cena over the next couple months come up short or just miss out on opportunities, and it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. And then we hit summer, we hit SummerSlam, you get to August. Once you roll into that back half of the year and December is really starting to stare him in the face, then it forces him to have to make some decisions. And maybe some of those decisions are to do some things outside of the John Cena character, just to try to reach the goal of championship number 17. But I'm here making a video for you guys. I'm not on the WWE payroll. I'm not making creative decisions. So what do I know? In the end, I do think that we're going to get a great story Sunday night. I think we're going to be hit with some stuff like we were last year that nobody really saw coming. And I think that we're going to have a satisfying, fulfilling end to WrestleMania 41. I think John Cena is going to get the win. He will win championship number 17. And that's going to be a good thing for Cody. I think that Cody and everything that he's done since he's come back at WrestleMania 38, the whole arc of the Cody character has been great. I think WWE has struck gold. And the fact that now, take away him walking away when he did, hitting the indie circuit, going out there and really recreating Cody Rhodes, becoming the American Nightmare, being involved with creating AEW, leaving AEW, and coming back. And really from the get-go, when his music hit at WrestleMania 38, he was instantly a made man on the biggest stage. And so we've got to see that play out over the last few years. But if I'm being honest, the last year hasn't really been great. But I don't put that on Cody's shoulders. That's not his fault. I think he is definitely more than held up his end of being the face of the WWE, the champion of WWE. I think it just has more to do with what we've kind of got on the creative end on who's been across from him. The AJ stuff really wasn't what it maybe could have been. I do think everything that went on between him and Kevin Owens was good. But creatively, I just don't know that we've really had much to really sink our teeth into. And so I think taking the belt off of him here in Vegas, it's going to put the Cody character in kind of a pivot position. Because now he goes back on the hunt. He goes back on the chase. But it's going to be a little bit different this time. Because he's been the champion. He's been in the main events. He's been in the big moments. So while Cody in chase mode is what everybody fell in love with, they're going to get that again. It's going to give you an opportunity to kind of freshen things up. But I think it's going to be a little bit different this time because he has already achieved all of those things he was crawling and scratching and grasping for going into WrestleMania 40. And then on the other side, we've got obviously that CM Punk feud that's going to happen at some point. Where does Seth Rollins go after WrestleMania? There's a lot of possibilities there. I know they had their feud in the past. Going to be a little bit different this time. Maybe it's a Braun Breaker. Maybe it's a Gunther. Maybe it's a McIntyre. There are a lot of possibilities, but ultimately I think this is going to be good for Cody. And really, I think it's just an opportunity to freshen things up. It's no big secret. Cena was going to win number 17. And if you're going to go down the path that we've gone down the last 2 months, now's as good a time as any to do it. John Cena wins World Championship number 17. And those are my WrestleMania 41 predictions. We'll have to see what happens this Saturday and Sunday when it all goes down. And speaking of Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be live right here on YouTube and Twitch right after each night's festivities end. You can come back here and join us. We will break down everything that happened. Get your reactions. I'll give my reactions. We'll check the receipts and see how I did with my predictions versus what actually played out before our very eyes. And I want to know what you guys think. So leave your predictions down in the comments section. Let's see how you do against my picks. And then we'll see how we all do once the big event gets here this weekend. Also, this week here on the channel, Friday afternoon, April 18th, the next episode in our Open Mic Universe series will be premiering, and it's a big one. Halloween Havoc. Now, if you're not familiar with my universe, you can check out, we've got a ton of videos here on YouTube that you can check out. But I do the universe a little bit different. It's not Raw as a brand, SmackDown as a brand. My brand split is actually WWE and WCW with current rosters. But we've got all the old WCW shows, the old classic WCW championships. And while they are separate brands, the pay-per-views are cross-branded shows. So we've got WWE matches and WCW matches each month when we get to the pay-per-views or the PLEs. This Friday, we've got a huge main event. The Rock has come back to the WWE, and he has gotten rid of the bloodline as we've known it. Roman Reigns is gone. Solo Sikoa is gone. Jey Uso has been exiled to WCW. Jimmy, the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion, will be defending that championship against The Rock. And in The Rock's corner, The Rock, the High Chief of the Bloodline, he's got some heavy backup. He's got Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. It's not looking good for Jimmy Uso. And the WWE, as we've known it, might be changing forever if The Rock, the High Chief, gets his hands on that WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit a Styles Clash on that subscribe button. Take that notification bell, turn that sumbitch sideways, and hit it with a rock bottom, and you'll get notified every time a new video drops here on the channel. New episodes from the universe come out every other day, so there's always new content here for you to enjoy. I hope you're ready for WrestleMania 41. I'm ready for WrestleMania 41. Let's see what happens this weekend in Las Vegas.